Hello? Is it picking me up? Please tell it's picking me up. Is it picking? Okay. It's certain sounds were just getting louder and louder. Yeah, that was so funny. Hold on, I gotta make sure it's good now. Okay, yeah, it's good. It was just like my, like the da-da from me like plugging and unplugging shit. Yeah. People can hear me now. Okay. Stay safe on the stairs.
I'll try. I'll be careful, I promise. I can try, I'm sure.
So, yeah. For anyone who saw the last stream and didn't see this one yet, Howie fell on the stairs. So that's why I'm telling her to stay safe on the stairs. So, yeah. Just make sure you also are safe on the stairs. The stairs are never safe. But you can try to stay safe. National Be Safe on the Stairs Day. You heard it first, folks. Hello, streamer friend of Nate. Hello, Pink. Welcome back to the stream. So, Howie fell on the stairs. Somehow missed your streams. That's sad. You made it to this one. You missed the other one. The other one, you would have heard the sound of Howie falling on the stairs. So this is a PSA to tell you that you should be careful on the stairs. When I have to head out somewhere, about to head to bed. Yeah, that's fair. You're a time zone believer, so that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if Howie's being picked up on the mic, but you better be careful on the stairs, is what it sounds like. There was a threat, yeah. don't forget the threat. If you're not careful on the stairs, Howie will come in your room in the middle of the night and tell you all the reasons why you should be careful on the stairs. Starting with reason number 1, it's stairs. Reason number 2, they're stairs. And reason number... You don't even want to know reason number 3. Oh, she just said them. They're steep. You gotta be careful on the stairs. You hear that, Pink? You gotta be careful on the stairs. Otherwise, Howie will just... She will just get a plane flight over there. You know, I may be scared of heights, but she's not. Also, welcome to the OCD nightmare at its finest. Where, I can't sleep until I fill in all of the underground under my fucking base. I will simply struggle to sleep at night. It's a little something I like to call insomnia. Ever heard of it? Or all I think about is, man, I could totally be filling up that hole in my single player save. That would totally be so much fun. CEO of Insomnia? Apparently. I didn't want this position, but I got given it anyways. Some say that that's the reason why someone should fill it. Because a great leader is the kind of leader who didn't even want to be leader in the first place. Now thinking about this manga series called Sir Vamp. Action comedy with vampires. Are the vampires gay? This is a very important question. Are the vampires gay? Or do they just happen to be vampires? Remember having volumes 1 and 2 of the manga, but I can't find them. May have to order. It's a replacement off Amazon since they aren't Barnes & Noble. That's sad. But are they gay? Or are they just gay for pay? I think it's just with vampires in Japan, they have to fight to survive. So it's action. And they were roommates. Or are they literally just only just vampires, and that's it? That's the only plot. Am I just trying to insert gayness because it's gay month? Tell it to me straight, Pink. Am I just trying to insert gayness on gay month? I don't think there are any gay vampires. That's fucked up! So the writers are homophobic! Nothing wrong with making headcanons about characters from media. True. But, that makes the writers homophobic by default, so, how dare they? They missed out on a perfect opportunity to have gay vampires. It could have been great. You know what it was? The writers, they were scared. They were scared of the homosexuals. Fuck. Only had volumes 1 and 2. Don't know if the creator got any LGBT characters to the series. So you only know about the parts before it got good. It totally gets gay. No, I don't know if there's any gay. I don't see. The thing is, I would read if I knew how. Me and Nate share a brain cell, and that brain cell is called dyslexia. Only mine's sometimes I get even fewer of brain cells, and that's called dyscalculia. It just depends on how my brain is feeling that day. Recommend checking out a wiki for serva. Is it serva? I keep reading it as servavamp, but there's no second the in there to understand the story a bit. Servamp. Okay. Servamp. I'm having to look at it very closely to tell that it's servamp and not server vamp. This is how much I fucking play Minecraft. I I don't even have an excuse. I just got the Minecraft brain rot. Servamp, like servant, but change the last two letters to MP. Servamp. That doesn't work with my accent. It it simply doesn't. I hate to be that guy, but it doesn't work with my accent. You say it like servamp. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. It's not. I'm not the only one. Fuck. I blocked myself in. Don't mind me, just being a dumbass. One of the worst part about filling in a hole, I know that I'll likely never fill in underneath my house the way I want it to be filled in, but I'm at least trying. And the it's so easy to just go quiet while doing this because it's one of those tasks where it's like, what is there to say about it? You know, I'm just filling in a hole. That's it. Ended up getting Ankaha, Ankaha, an island in New Horizons. Um, I don't know how to read that name. The blue yellow cat villager. I don't know that game. All I know is Minecraft. When I tell you I have Minecraft brain rot, I mean it. Poor soul, need to get you an Animal Crossing mod ASAP. I've never played Animal Crossing. Genuinely, it's one of those games where it's like so many people talk about it. I'm just here like I like the mines. I like being underground in Minecraft. Is that okay? Like genuinely, I got Silk Touch right now. I got a fortune at my house. This is my single player world, and I just I like terraforming and I like mining. Those are my two favorite things to do in Minecraft. That also really trigger my OCD. So it's a fun time, as you could tell. Basically, explain it very bad way. It's like furry capitalism game where you can fish, catch bugs, find fossils, and more. Here's the thing: I don't like capitalism. I feel like I would just want to do horrific things to everyone in that game if I had to play along to capitalism. I am very much anti-capitalism, so I would probably not do good in that game. No offense. I know that game's very popular and loads of people like it, or at least loads of people play it. But I don't subscribe to capitalism. I subscribe to ethical anarchy. You know, like the idea that governments are the problem, and if people were just free to do as they so please, they would probably, you know, at least most people, I like to think, would be decent human beings. Early days of the games is like that, but New Horizons is more chill. You could also sell random items like flowers, weeds, shells, literal trash, and more to make a few thousand bells. Is bells the currency? This kind of catches up to here, so I'm just... eh. Yeah, bells is the currency. Okay. Fair enough. Get the water out. No lava, please. Thank you. I realize it's really dark down here. There we go. Boop, boop. Put that there. Boop, 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 boop. What are my pronouns? Um, a funny thing, I don't align with pronouns. I just, whatever fits, fits. Um, Back in middle school, I was kind of, even like a little bit into late elementary school, um, I played on Xbox with some people, and they were like, gamer, fix that hunger bar. There, it's fixed. Um, I played a lot of Xbox back in the day, and um, I was born female. Okay, female with a F. Okay, and I'd play on Xbox, and people were like, "Wait, you're a girl? Your voice sounds so deep. We thought you were a guy." And I'm just like, I don't care what you think I am. Just let's play Minecraft and stop talking about it. Luckily, they were chill enough, so. New FNAF comes out this Friday. You excited? Secret of the Mimic. Yeah. See, I kind of live under a rock when it comes to announcements for anything. So I just kind of, if something new comes out, I'm just like watching it on YouTube. That's how I found out Deltarune chapters came out. Probably play Super Horror Bro. Play it. Mostly. Fair. But yeah, I mostly live under a rock. It's fun living under a rock, you know, you don't have the stresses of the outside world to worry about. I meant watch, not play. Brain, why? Don't worry, it's fine. No one knows how to spell here. I don't know how to spell. You don't know how to spell, apparently. It's fine. Judgment-free zone. You know, if Mark plays it, I'll probably watch his perspective. Just cause, King of Five Nights at Freddy's. Super Horror Bro is a British YouTuber who plays games, goes over the story of said games, and at what one did theory videos. Thank Betty, hello neighbor, etc. Okay. So, kind of like MatPat, in a way. I don't know if he does those theory videos anymore. So kind of like MatPat in a way. Fucking get some light. Sometimes makes commentary while playing the game. I think the most recent one I saw was one where he played Out of Sight. Out of sight, out of mind. My brain is particularly fond of that concept. Some games where you can play only see through the eyes of the teddy bear. While trying to get a blindfolded girl out of a house. Huh. Oh. Thank you for exposing the redstone creeper. It's very much appreciated. I will be taking this now, though. Goes even deeper. Like games where they mess with one of the senses people have: sight, smell, touch, etc. I get very finicky about those kinds of games because it's like, ooh. It's just one of those things where it's like, personally, I got glasses, so I'm already technically hard of sight in that way. So, the idea of messing with any of the senses that I have left, I would very much... No, thank you. So, like, internet horror games, like Lacey's Games, which was an internet web series about cursed flash games. This one I like that Manly Badass Hero played, called One Way and More. See, I also, I do bad with horror. So, odds are I'm not gonna be playing that. Like, I watch FNAF and I get jumpy, but I'm like, the story's too fucking good to not watch it. Like, I'll watch FNAF shit myself and be like, but that story though. Imagine horror games where you have to smell your way out of hell. What the fuck? No thank you. The idea of smelling what hell smells like just sounds revolting. It sounds like a way to get nauseous. Like, you have to rely on your senses of smell to try and find a way to get somewhere safe. Okay, but smelling hell... that... I don't know about that. No thank you. I get that that could be, like, an analogy for, like, oh, this place really smells bad. But still. I don't know. Guess, blame that on being raised religious. For me just being like, no thanks to smelling a way out of hell. I would like smells to be decent when they hit my face. Checkpoint or rest areas would be a kitchen that have fresh smell of recently cooked spaghetti or something. Oh, that's nice. You see, on one hand, it sounds like even nature doesn't want me filling this hole in, but on the other hand, um, I want to fill this hole in. It's as simple as that. So if nature could chill out, that'd be great. Also, hold on. Does this side just loop around? Because if that's the case, then I could just start filling it in. It goes around to here, which is a dead end, and loops around this way. But there's stuff that way. So, Gamer Hunger Bar. I was already on it. I was already on it. You're gonna see that pop up in chat while I'm switching to the beef and be like, man, this motherfucker was already on it. I'm on to you. I'm on to your ways. Your ways of telling me to eat and stuff to survive. I'm on to your schemes. Fucking let me put that there. There we go. I'm on to you, Pink. I'm on to you. I already had the hunger. For every minute you ignore that hunger bar, I give you a fine of 200 diamonds. No! No! You can't do that. That's heinous. That's fucked up. It's a war crime. And, I simply will not allow that. You simply cannot charge me 200 diamonds. Of my own diamonds, nonetheless. Ooh, what the fuck is this way? Nothing? Okay. I don't care about that zombie, I just want to fill this fucking hole in. That zombie can kiss my ass. Sorry, it should find 350! This is absurd. This is what capitalism is. This is why I don't subscribe to capitalism. Every capitalist society is the same. We live in a society. Shit. Put those there. Just want like a box of 20 nuggets from McDonald's for under 10 bucks. Bro, I don't even eat fast food and I'm still broke. 'Cause capitalism be like that. Capitalism said, "Oh, you have bills? Pay every single penny in your pocket for them." I think I could fill this up to here, actually. Um, Probably don't have enough shulkers to fill it up, but still. Be worth a shot. Where the fuck is that bat? Someone tell it to leave before it's too late. I am simply getting rid of the bat's home. I realize that. But at the same time, I would like my house to have a sturdy foundation. Is that too much to ask for, Minecraft? Like, I probably could have done something in the settings that made it so there weren't underground gaps like this, but, it's kind of too late to go back now. So, it is what it is. Could have built your home on a random floating island instead of making that poor bat homeless. A floating island would make it even harder for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have a big old wheat field next to my house. Um, so, how am I supposed to have a big giant wheat field on a floating island? Riddle me that. Riddle me that, Batman. Building Ohio? No, this isn't Ohio. There's other places other than Ohio. You realize I'm Minnesotan, so I'm trying to make somewhere that feels like home. Fucking Ohio. Not Ohio. Ohio isn't real. Everyone knows this. A brain rot consumes once more. Yeah. You thought Ohio was real. That's concerning amount of brain rot. Now, how the fuck am I supposed to cut this area off? I think that's like over there somewhere. So, can I cut this area off though? Hold on. Let me check. If I could cut this area off, that'd be great. Because then I could just worry about filling in a certain area. Let me see. Yeah, no, I can fill that. I can cut that area off. Great, cool, cool beans, cool beans. So I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Fucking doing that. Why not? Might as fucking well. Yeah, no. Go ahead. Look up Minnesota on a map. We're we're probably the most northern state in the U.S. other than Alaska. We get called the American off-brand of Canadians for a reason. But yeah, no, we got wheat fields. We got so many wheat fields. I used to have a reoccurring nightmare about them. It actually wasn't reoccurring, but it was very I guess traumatizing. Um, but yeah, we got wheat fields. To insinuate that Ohio is the only place that could have wheat fields, it's disrespectful. We got wheat too, man. Never took a geography class at all in school, so don't know much about the states and stuff. You don't even know about Mibble. You probably don't. You probably don't know about Mibble. You don't know about the icon that is Mibble. Bro, that's crazy to think about. What's that? Okay, so I would have to hold on. I'm gonna pull up a map of the United States to show this because it cannot be explained without showing a map of the states. Okay. Images. Fucking. Give me one that just has the names. Okay. Uh. Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay. I am going to change OBS to this screen, and I am just going to show it. Okay. So, Mibble is Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So actually it's Mimo, but and then Tennessee and Kentucky make him holding a plate of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So hold on. Let me pull up MIMAL man in the map. Yeah. Images. There he is. There he is. Open image in new tab. There he is. That's you can literally make out his face. You can make out his fucking face. I have no idea if yeah, OBS is catching this. Okay. Live more to the east. You live on the East Coast? That's fair. But yeah, no, this is Mimel. Hold on. Am I able to zoom in? How the fuck do I zoom in? Control Z? No? Fuck. Yeah, no. That's him. That's the icon. Can name 5 states that make up my frame. And then there it is. Okay? This is... We stand Mimel in this household. It's a Dollar Door Simpsons OC right there. Yeah, but he's fucking iconic. He may be a dollar store OC, but he's iconic for it, so... Yeah, no. Ohio is not part of Mimel. We simply do not approve of Ohio. Not for any bad reason. We just don't. Ohio is simply not part of our man. But yeah, also, you've been educated on. So, I win. and you have lost the game, and all those diamonds that you said were fine, now you're fine because reverse Uno card. All the diamonds that you get, they do are be mine. So thank you. I'll be taking them and putting them in my storage, and they will never see the light of day again. Put the diamonds you get on pizza. Bro, no. Haven't even found diamonds because I'm just clogging this shit up. So, joke's on you. All I'm doing is clogging a hole. I'm giving this cave the definition of constipation. So, take that. All the constipation you get from that pizza, you could just give it to this cave, because it's already got so much. It's got so many bowel movement problems. Whatever giant it is that decided to sleep here and make the mountains, this poor motherfucker is gonna wake up and wonder why it's so fucking constipated all of a sudden. And I'm just gonna be here having mined up all of its relatives, like, uh, no reason. And then run away into the night. But also, question for you, Pink. What kind of pizza place do you like the most? This is a vibe check question. I need to know what kind of vibes you are. Either Papa John's or Domino's. Damn. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I'll tell you why it's fucked up. There's this place. I don't even know if it exists over there. But there's this place, it's called Checkerboard. And guess what? Guess how they cut their pizza? In a checkerboard. That shit, it's fucking childhood. Now, if they don't have it over there, that's understandable, because you just probably weren't raised on it. But if they do have it, and you just don't like it, we're gonna have problems. Warning for audio jump scare would be nice. Dude, I just put it in my mouth. Never heard of that place. Damn, they don't got checkerboard over there. Guess I'll be staying in Minnesota. Genuinely, it's that much of a childhood place that it's like got fast food places called Checkers. Just burgers and fries and more. Yeah, no, that's not checkerboard. Checkerboard is like I think they have like a few locations that I know of. But I just know the one that was by where I grew up at. And the fucking basement of that place was so fucking creepy, but that's like how you got to their bathroom. But it's like, you would think going down there you're gonna get murdered or something. Childhood memories. No, I love that place. It's it could probably be compared to FNAF in the fact of fearing for your life, but other than that, also the pizza, also I guess the fact that they didn't necessarily do parties, but they did catering. It's called Checkerboard. Yeah, Checkerboard Pizza. Just want to go and Google it. If you Google it, you'll probably find out the area that I lived in. The state is trying to make it more cleaner of an area, but that doesn't wipe away the fact that it is the hood, and the hood is the hood. Simple as. you can't take the hood out of the hood. You're just putting new paint on it. You know, it's like you can't deny the fact a murder happened in a house, but you can paint over the blood. It's one of those kind of situations they're trying to do. And it's because there's a lot of people from the coast, like both sides, but mostly Californians from what I notice, that are trying to move here. So they want the place to look nicer than it actually is. Is it in... It's in Oregon? No, it's in Minnesota! Shit, there might be a place in Oregon. I don't know. But no, it's in Minnesota, dude. I'm Minnesotan. How the fuck would I get to Oregon? Oh, sorry, Oregon. Oregon. Oregon Trail, Oregon. I know words. Show me one for Oregon. Yeah, no, I don't know about that one. I didn't know they had a branch out there. But nah, the checkerboard pizza I grew up with, Minnesota, in the hood, as it should be. Is Minnesota MN? Yes, it is. Holy shit. I've gotten to the point where I wanted to fill to. Almost. Just like the fucking place up here. Still though. Okay, just wanted to make sure, not too familiar with the two letters. US states. Now the two letters thing is just abbreviation. Like, I'm pretty sure almost every state has a two-letter abbreviation for it. You just gotta figure out which yours is, kind of thing. That's what geometry is for, or fucking geography. I know my words. I know my words, I swear. But yeah. It's basically the state's initials, if you could think about it that way. Know a few, just not all the state's initials. Fair. My frickin' 4 o'clock alarm! Ah! It's fine. Got nothing going on at the moment. It's just an alarm to remind me that there are such thing as time zone believers. They're scary, but they do exist. So yeah. Are you a time zone believer by chance? Do you believe that it's not 4 o'clock? Is your clock lying to you? I'm trying to push the time zone believing agenda on you. If so, then, I'm sorry, but, I can't save you from that time zone believer agenda. 5 p.m. Okay, you're a time zone believer. You're a time zone believer. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. This is so sad. Wish gender plasma was real. Doesn't make sense for gender fluid to exist, but not gender plasma. Yeah. The clock on your laptop is telling you. Your clock is simply lying to you. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but your clock is telling lies. Because my clock says it's 4:02. So your clock must be the one that's wrong. Get ready at 5:30 for a church class. Ooh. Which denomination? This will heavily influence what I think about you as a person. Here, what? Your denomination. Churches have denominations. All different religions have denominations. It's basically, it's like how Catholicism is a denomination from the Christian doctrine, and the Christian doctrine is that, whether you call him Jesus Christ or Yeshua Ben Hur, that's the Messiah, and, anyone else is wrong. You follow Christian? I guess, Orthodox Christian. Which is basically, saying that, I think there's more than the Bible is telling us. I think, there's a lot of spiritual beliefs that I also align with. Like, I align with the belief that Jesus isn't the proper name and that it's Yeshua Ben Hur, because that's the name found in records in Egypt, which is, where he lived for his childhood and to his, like, teen years. So, that's one of my beliefs. Another one of my beliefs is, just generally don't be an asshole. Um, Another one of my beliefs is that, I believe that there's a lot in the Bible that people are told to take literally, but is actually supposed to be more metaphorical. And that when you start seeing things in metaphors instead, then it kind of helps make it all make sense. Versus mainly Christian, I don't mind other people follow other religions. Not one of those crazy Karens that use religion as an excuse to be an ass. Yeah, no, that's literally hypocrisy. That's the shit that I don't fuck with. Um, I once got in trouble for how much I don't fuck with the hypocrisy in the church, because I called it out so much that my brain decided to become aggressive, and all I saw was red. And then they were like, you have to be kicked out of this school because you got violent against the principal and vice principal. And I'm like, how? I'm 8. I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. Don't understand. Oh, yeah, I don't fuck with the hypocrisy of people being able to go to church and, just tell the priest, oh, I'm totally sorry for this thing I did. Oh, woe is me. And then the priest be like, "Oh, well, just say these prayers and everything will be okay." I don't fuck with that, because it's like you're not apologizing to the person that you hurt. You know, like, you gotta apologize to who you're hurting. Otherwise, is it really even an apology? I don't think so. That doesn't sound like an apology. That just sounds like you want to get out of trouble as fast as possible. And you don't like feeling guilty for something, so you're like, how about I go tell someone else what I did and get their 2 cents, and the 2 cents is just, oh, well, don't go apologize to that person. Um, Instead, just sit here, say a few words, and that'll do it. Don't understand Christians who tell people to do research on demons. Like, how will you know what a demon is possessing your friend if, I don't know, Becky got mad at you for wanting to learn about it? Yeah. Like, it's like they want to act like that stuff doesn't exist anymore, even though there are known cases where that stuff happens. It's like, do you want to just live in, like, ignorant bliss? Or do you want to actually do something about solving the issue that is there spiritually? You know? There's just some people that are like, oh, I don't like thinking about that. Like, there was this one time I was at a mental institution because, mental health go burr. And I was there trying to explain that my beliefs is that, basically, on the spiritual side of things, demons can have influence over people, but the point of possession is when people more or less give up trying to fight against it. Okay? I was trying to explain that belief to them, and they were like, oh, well, um, I don't like thinking about that, so just stop talking about it. And it's like, I get that a mental health facility probably isn't the best place to bring that kind of topic up, because for some people it could be triggering for different reasons. But that, they could have just said it was triggering. Oh, that makes sense for demonic possession to happen. Yeah, because it's like the person's giving up, and they're just like, if you give up a fight, then you're giving up the possibility of actually winning. And you're just like, oh, well, just take it over. You know, like, it's one of those things that it just makes sense that way. And people are here like, oh, well, I don't like thinking about it that way, so, just shut up. And I'm like, really? You really don't want to try and figure out why this thing happens in nature? And because it's also a psychological thing when you think about it, because in order for someone to give up, they have to more or less be psychologically broken down to get to that point. Right? They can't just, someone can't just give up because they just feel like giving up. That's just the weakest reason to give up, especially when it's, when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, you don't just give up because you feel like it. You give up because you've been attacked for so long that you get tired of fighting. That just makes more sense versus it just being a sudden attack. It makes more sense that the person has been fighting the attack for so long that they couldn't fight anymore. But no, I tell that to anyone and they're like, oh, well, I don't like thinking about it that way, so you should stop thinking about it that way. And I'm like, bro. I sit and think about these things fairly regularly, probably to an unhealthy amount. Basically, every DeviantArt OC that's an edgelord would easily become possessed. Yeah. Because it's like, when you get to that point of being edgy, you know, I see the /J, I'm not acting like I don't see it, but I'm just explaining the logic and reasoning. when you get to that point of where you're just like, fuck it, I'm edgy, you're kind of at that point of giving up, right? A lot of edgy OCs are ready to give up. They don't want to fight anymore. They're just like, fuck this shit. You know? Usually ask friend Fuma pronounce Puma about religion stuff like that whenever you're in a call with them. Fair enough. But yeah, I kind of get passionate about that because there have been situations, not only in my life, but situations that I've witnessed where people have, like, claimed that going on. And I kind of came to the realization that the only way to really find yourself is to entirely lose yourself, right? The only way to know who you are is to be willing to throw it all away. Because if you throw it all away, and then you're like, okay, now time to try and find who I am, then you can kind of build yourself from ground zero. And I know that kind of sounds like saying to give up, but it's give up with an asterisk. It's give up with the whole thing in mind of don't entirely give up, just give up to the point where you can start to to search yourself. Because if you can get to the point where you're like, okay, now time to start self-searching, and you can comfortably come back from that, that's a whole different level of shit to go through. Like I had spent pretty much the last year and a half on that journey, and it was fucking hell in the beginning. I'll tell you that for free. It was hell in the beginning. Would not, you know, if you're not mentally ready for it, don't start it because it's hell in the beginning. But you know, in the end, when you find yourself, you're like, oh, it's good to know who I am. You know, you realize it's nice to know who you are, and then you're like, oh, this is cool. But yeah, would not recommend if you're not ready for the kind of shit that happens with that. It's a lot of self-doubt that goes into it because you start to question whether or not it's still there, kind of thing. Um, just all in all, not a good time because it the way that it works when you're trying to do it is you're basically asking your guardian angels to do the max amount of work while letting you kind of falter. And depending on the life that you agreed that you'd be having with God, they might not be so pleased about you just volunteering them. In a sense, like they'll protect your ass. Don't get me wrong on that. They'll protect your ass, but they might also be like, "Hey, are you sure you want to do this?" At which point, I was like, "Yes, I am sure. Now give me hard mode." That was my first mistake. Among many. Um, but yeah. Basically, religion has always been one of those things that always, no matter what my age, has been in the back of my mind, like, ooh, what if, did this, that, or the other? And I've kind of always had the mentality of trying to get away with as much shit as possible. So, that obviously came up. It's a lot of being spiritually called out. Um, So basically, whatever beliefs you have going on, if they're faulty, you get called out for it. And another thing about it is that demonic possession isn't necessarily. This is going to sound weird at first, so hear me out. It's not necessarily as awful as it sounds to begin with. Um, it's just something that you have to learn from. It's basically your soul has to learn. Life is full of lessons, so your soul has to learn. And the only way to learn is by failing at something. You can't learn if the answers are just handed to you on a silver platter. That's not gonna work. So, I know it sounds like awful advice. I know. I am well aware of that. But it is one of those things where you gotta let go at least a little bit in order to lose yourself and then re-find yourself. You gotta let go. You just need to keep in your heart your own personal morals, and you'll be fine. As long as you keep in your heart who you are truly deep down, then you're fine. You know, they demons they want to change what's in your heart. They'll do anything and everything to try and change what's in your heart, but it's all about like the self, like not only the realization of that, but also the um I don't know why the word self came through. It's it's about the whole I'm trying to find the right word. It's the right word is there somewhere. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's fucking what's it called? It's kind of like self-preservation, but in the extent of proving to yourself that you can withstand even the scariest of situations. You everyone kind of wants to know what their limits are for the sake of knowing how much shit they can handle. And there's a certain kind of strength that comes from being able to not only recognizing your limits. So if you don't feel like you could handle the challenge of breaking yourself out of possession, I would not recommend starting that challenge with anything. Um, but there's a certain level of, I guess, fulfillment in finding out what your limits are. Um, Again, would not recommend if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared, don't take any of my advice. um, but yeah, it's an entire thing. If you feel like you can handle it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, um, my only advice is to stay careful because there are all types that exist. Um, they could even be like, oh, you're prideful for trying to do this. Which, again, make sure you know what is in your heart before you go doing any of this stuff because it's that dangerous. Not necessarily that it's. Here's the thing. This is also going to sound like out of pocket until you hear me out. Um the devil isn't bad, not in the sense that people want to say that he is. He's more so bad in the sense that that's his purpose that he was assigned to be. He he's more or less the aspect of God that is the definition of pride. And so when you get something such as that type of entity, that kind of leaves room for like people from a fleshly perspective to be like, "Oh, that's bad because it makes me feel bad to be around it." When there is such thing as a good level of pride. There's a healthy level of pride and then there's an unhealthy level of pride. And it's all about finding out where you align on that spectrum. I know it sounds unhinged and most people are probably going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the devil is literally purposely made to be the antagonist, and the reason for that being is so that we could know from learning, because life is a school, it's all about life lessons. um, we could learn that pride isn't something that makes people want to be around us. Pride isn't something worth glorifying because it's something that makes other people feel bad about themselves, right? Think about it this way. I get what you're saying. Thank you. Think about it this way, right? If someone is being prideful and they're not giving up, you're gonna be like, man, I don't like being around this person because they make me feel inferior, right? That's the feeling that pride gives off to those who aren't in the prideful mindset. Versus the person who is in the prideful mindset is so like one-dimensionally thinking that they're not thinking about how it's affecting others. Puma mentioned something about how the devil was originally good and tested people's temptations and stuff. Yeah, he's basically testing to see how prideful you are. And a lot of people are like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I could beat the devil easy with my hands tied behind my back. It's just like Cuphead, right? And that's cool and all that the creator of Cuphead added, like, I guess, I don't know if I should call it cool. That feels like giving him too much credit. um, but it's considerate, I guess, that the creator of Cuphead added the devil into the game for the sake of people being able to learn about him. However, I will say this loud and proud that when people start to see a certain entity and certain entity types as fictional, that's where even more danger comes in, because you're looking at these things as if they're not threats, even though they very much threat the well-being of your soul. And if they could, they would eat it. Personally, the demon that I ended up fighting was this one that was, one of them was suicide. He just straight up came at me one day and was like, "Why haven't you killed yourself yet?" And I was like, "Well, I simply don't want to." So yeah, and then killed my flesh, and I was like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" Because I could see what it looked like. Not to give anyone nightmare fuel, but this bitch was nightmare fuel. Okay. Um, it looked something like if there was a six-pointed star, but all it was made of hundreds of thousands of mouths. And I asked about what that meant in prayer because I was curious after this death experience. Um, and I was told that all these mouths that I saw it was made of were all the people that suicide has silenced. All the people who didn't get to properly speak up about why they did it. That was all the mouths that it was made up of. Hundreds of thousands. Now, I don't know about you, but after I heard that, I was fucking disturbed. I was like, oh, well, thank goodness I didn't fucking end myself then. Thank God! Literally. It's like I kind of joke about it now, but the only reason I joke about it is for the simple sake of um that was a traumatic meeting for me, as you could understand, due to it being a near death experience. And I literally had to tell the angel that showed up to bring me away afterwards because I prayed, because I was like, I don't feel good about what I'm looking at. Time to pray. Um, the angel told me that I was dead. I could see off in the corner. Um, Kind of that way from. Imagine I'm standing here where my Minecraft character is. I could see off that way. My body being physically beaten by this thing. And the angel told me I was dead, and I was like, well, can I go back? And the angel was like, yeah, sure, but do you really want to? And I was like, yeah, I could cope. I could cope with what happened. It has taken me a year and a half of fighting not only that motherfucker, but also few others. If I had a choice between what you saw and Eldritch Horror, I'd take the Eldritch Horror. This motherfucker was an Eldritch Horror, okay? It gravitationally pulled me closer to its center when I saw it. It, like, and when I got towards its center was pure black except for rows of jagged teeth. That's when I realized, oh shit, it's time to pray. um, Obviously, since then, many prayers have been happened in order to for me to learn about this shit and properly be able to discuss about it. Um, I've spent the last year and a half spiritually at war, and only recently have I been, doing okay. And that's more so thanks to the fact that I got the balls enough to start like reaching out for spiritual help. Because for a while I was just doing it by myself. I was like, well, I was the one who asked to come back. I was the one who asked the angel to let me come back, so I might as well handle this on my own. It wasn't until recently I was like, okay, I need help. I need help facing this thing, and I got help in the way of uh, Jaguar Bufo, who is a spiritual entity, also a plant medicine that people basically you can consume the plant medicine in order to meet the spiritual entity. That's how plant medicines work. They're more so just to get you on the certain frequency that the entity work on. So if you're on the frequency of like a lower vibration for some reason, you can take a plant medicine and get lifted to the frequency that the spiritual healer entity is on. And then from there, just kind of converse with them. Like learning about demons. This feels like a demon rocket science. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I've been living through the experience, so I got that lived experience knowledge, and there's a lot of Christian people who are like, oh well, you just shouldn't believe in demons because the more you believe in them, the more power you're giving them, and that is kind of true. The That's kind of how the law of attraction works. If you believe in something, it's more likely to happen. So if you believe you're about to get possessed, odds are you're probably about to get possessed. Um, if you believe that the end of the world is coming, odds are it's going to happen. Um, it's just that kind of stuff where it's like certain Christians will be like, "Oh, you can't say the word demon because that gives it power." And it's like it only gives it power if you allow it to give it power, right? It's like this is going to sound so problematic to bring this certain bitch up, but it's like J.K. Rowling, how she wrote the Harry Potter books. There's one line that she put in there for the character Hermione where she says fear of the name only increases fear of the thing itself. And that, I feel like, perfectly applies to demons for the sake of when you fear them more, they feed off of that. They love to practically eat fear. They eat fear for breakfast, okay? I know it sounds weird to say it like that, but they do. Um, and so if you're sitting here and you're fearing them, they're like, ooh, buffet, right? They're spiritual entities that affect the way that humans think and operate. And if they had it their way, basically, they would basically want to possess every single human. Um, that's just the long and short of it. Uh, because the thing is, they're jealous of the fact that humans are able to experience a way of life that is both physical and spiritual, right? That's the thing that they're jealous of. They're jealous of the like coexistence that is a human experience. They're jealous of the fact that we can be like these things that can just not have to see the spiritual side 24/7 while also being able to tap into it if we so please. They want that level of power for themselves because then they'd feel like they're unstoppable. Right? But the thing is that they don't tend to understand is that the human experience is way more difficult than they give it credit for. The kind of difficulty that they themselves, if they were in our shoes, would not be ready for. They would, like, anytime they're in a human body, that's why they are so easily found out, because they don't understand the complexities of humans. At the end of the day, that's just it. They don't understand. Because they're two-dimensional. And I know that sounds like an insult, but they are. um, they're very two-dimensional in what it is that they want and what it is that they seek out of every experience that they have. Like, the devil's prideful, so he's just going to want anything that boosts his ego. Um, shit like that. So, if generally, if someone's possessed by a demon, you can kind of guess right away by a certain level of two-dimensionality to who they are, and what their wants are, what they claim their needs are, even though they aren't even necessarily needs at that point. And just that kind of shit. So it's very easy to distinguish. Now the thing is, about getting rid of them, it's simultaneously easier and more difficult than it seems. It's difficult in the sense that you have to have the spiritual strength and self-assurance in believing that you could get rid of this thing for this person. But it's easy in the fact that so long as you have that self-assurance, you're perfectly fine, they're perfectly fine, and everyone is hunky-dory. Alright? That's basically all that it is about getting rid of it, is you just need to be so sure in self-assurance that it's unshakable. Getting a bit of gas from how much I'm talking, but also, I had a salad earlier, so that might that might be some of the gas too. But yeah, no, spiritual warfare is one of those things that I have very much indulged in the research of and such. If you'd like, we could change the topic if you're starting to feel uncomfortable. Nah, it's one of those things where I like talking about it just for the sake of getting what I know out there. You know, because it's important to share what information you know about a subject so that other people could then learn, and then it's one of those things. It's an education thing. You know, it I don't look at it as any triggering topic anymore. I look at it as if I'm talking about it, it's for the sake of teaching people things that they should know going forward. I've kind of stopped looking at any negative triggers as negative triggers also. It's one of those things where because life lessons are life lessons, that kind of applies to everything that you go through in life, right? So if you apply that logic to maybe you had like a upsetting time in your childhood, which yes. Don't even gotta question that when it comes to me. But because everything is a lesson in life, and that's why the term life lessons exists, then wouldn't it make sense to have to learn from your traumas for some reason or another? And when you think about it that way, it makes it easier to deal with. Instead of being like, "Oh, woe is me. I had an awful life." It could just become, "I am experienced, and I would like to educate other people." You know, it becomes a different outlook on the same situation. Instead of being like, "Oh, I had this awful time because so and so of my family members did this," right? It can instead become, "Oh, I had a rough upbringing, but I can use my skills and knowledge to help other people through their own rough times. Awesome, cool." I don't, I don't look at like trauma the same way as I used to. Ever since this all happened. Um, I guess the only reason why the whole nearly dying thing shakes me up is because I I like to draw. And so I was like, maybe I could try drawing this thing out to show the world what this entity looked like. And I could never fucking draw it. It was like God was holding me back from actually drawing what this thing looked like because I could like I could just barely draw maybe a sketch of it before I would start to feel nauseous. That's how fucking like that's how much I was not allowed to show the world what this thing looked like. I tried to draw this thing multiple times, and every time I tried, I would have to stop because I would get too nauseous to continue. And I'm like, man, okay, maybe it doesn't want to be seen. That might be the case, but if that's the case, then it's just trying to hide in the shadows like a little bitch. And I'm perfectly fine with calling it that. I'm perfectly fine with the fact that it'll get mad at me calling that. Because the thing is what it is, you know? It tried to murder me. And I'm still standing. I'm still standing better than I ever did. You know? So I'm not really bothered. I think it's more so that other people would be bothered by the fact of me calling certain entities those words rather than me being bothered by it. Because the thing is, so many people are like, "Oh, you have to treat certain entities with respect." That's cool and all, but my mama didn't raise no bitch. I was taught that respect is a two-way street, and that bitch didn't come at me with any shred of respect. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. What goes around comes back around, that kind of shit. Right? If it doesn't want to be seen, fine. It can hide in the shadows like a coward. And that's just the way it is. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Things will never be the same. Nah. That's another thing. The whole music industry is so riddled with them, but the reason for that being is that they know that people are going to listen to music because that's the only thing that they kind of like. The thing is, they make it so like you have to indulge in certain types of media and that kind of shit. Like, they know that they've set the board. They know this. And so, it just makes sense that they would then be like, oh, what if we make it so the humans only consume our media? Right? It just makes a little bit too much sense. Because the thing is, they want the human experience, but they know that they'll never get it. So, they more or less are in this situation where they just kind of have to hope that humans think like them. And that's it. No flashy extra stuff. They just want humans to think like them. Because if they could bring humanity down to their dimension and their level, then they feel like they win. That's the entire point of it. Is they want to drag people down to their level. Because misery loves company. And who's more miserable but the guy that everyone is like, oh yeah, you're the bad guy of the universe. Fuck you. Right? However, this is to say that, just because I think the devil isn't as bad as a guy as everyone makes him out to be, doesn't mean that I'm being a devil apologizer. It just means that I understand the purpose that he was made for is one of very problematic origin, and that as soon as people start understanding it that way instead of being like, oh, he's awful and he's evil because the book says so. You know, as soon as we get to that point, then I guess I'll probably go out and socialize more. Then I guess people will probably be more tolerable to be around. It's the whole entire thing of like being burdened and cursed with knowledge. Fucking in Marvel, Thanos talks about it, where it's like you feel burdened by the knowledge that you have because not everyone else is at that level of understanding yet. It's one of those things where it's like you would love to be able to talk about it with people like in your real life circles even who would get it, but not everyone is going to get it. There'll be people that are like, "Oh, but this, that and the other," and make excuses for why they want to think in their old way of thinking without ever considering that a new way of thinking could be so much better. Does also make sense. Afraid you'll have to head out. That is fair. Stay safe, and wear your seatbelt. What else? What else do people tell each other to do? Um, whenever Leon goes out, I tell him to bring a shank. So bring a shank. Um, nah, just stay safe out there. You know. Been nice hanging out with you. Hopefully, I can catch your next stream. I have to ask Nate if he could give your Discord username so we can be friends. Hey, friendship. I don't personally know how Discord works. I remember when me and Nate added each other, I very much had to ask him for help the entire time because I didn't understand it. So, consider me a noob when it comes to technology. More copper. Get in my pockets. Boop, 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 boop. You just search people's usernames. Huh. Message duplicate? No idea. I was kind of wondering that too. But hey, it kind of gets the point across more. Maybe it was meant to duplicate. You know, everything happens for a reason. Ask Nate if he will be okay with giving your username. Hopefully get a response from him soon. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe catch you later? Maybe? I'll I'll likely either be here or be role playing with Nate. If you get back by the time I'm not streaming anymore. That's how my time tends to work. I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. I am placing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. Oh my god, it's that fucking big because I am fucking Steve. I am fucking Steve. Gonna place that there. Shoot. Put that there. Oh, snap. I can hear doggos barking. I am very concerned for these doggos. They're barking. The doggos have stopped barking. I am still very much concerned for them. Nate! You missed pink! Sorry to break it to you. We were talking about demons. We were talking about the demons. You missed my entire lecture. See that? They slid into TM's about you. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the demons, and I gave an entire lecture about that shit. It's all good, though. They were simply curious, and I was simply educating them. Tis all good. Fair enough. Lobbed off your hair? What are you doing? Hold on. What is this? Yo, this is kind of a cool book. Ooh. Leon has showed up with a book called Japanese Myths and Legends. Tales of Heroes, Gods, and Monsters. It is very short. Neck was getting irritated as fuck by the heat. That's fair. Yeah. Oh, you wanna make... Sounds interesting. Yeah. I feel like Leon's trying to flex the fact that he can read. So, there's that. He actually has reading comprehension. So... Also, I see you're on single player again. How dare you flex to a dyslexic? Bro, for real. As soon as you show up, he shows up with that book. Bro, rubbing it in. Yeah. Basically. But yeah, this is part 2 of, part 10, because, part 10 got cut short. Because suddenly had to go places. And also, Howie fell up the stairs. So, I had to go make sure she was doing alright. And she wants... I had 2 notifs for your stream. Yeah. She wants everyone to know that if they're not careful on the stairs, that she'll show up at your house at 3 a.m. and make sure that you're careful on the stairs. Otherwise, she will get you. I don't know what she'll do when she gets you, but she will get you. Was your class running up the stairs on all 4 safe? I don't know, considering that's how she fell up the stairs. By running up the stairs. I don't think she was on all 4s though, so it's worth asking. been doing that method since childhood. It's yet to fail. Fair, 'cause same. Tis a very nice method. Tis also fast. Indeed it is. But yeah, no, like we were gonna go somewhere and it was all fine and hunky-dory, and then, she fell up the stairs and, I think she's doing better now since we got back. But yeah, that kind of had her shaken up for the ride. Which, you know, understandable. No one likes falling on the stairs. Indeed, very understandable. Give me more cobble! Thank you! Very understandable indeed. I want to play Minecraft, but wrist hurts from playing mini golf. No! This is sad times. Came joint first with 42 pounds? What the fuck? How? Good sir, I'm simply asking how. I have the autistic urge to know why. Oh, points. So you won, right? I don't know how much mini golf is a game of mini golf. Um, did you win? Were you winning, son? Tied first. So 2 of you won. So you technically won. The tie doesn't matter. You won. You won first place fair and square. Didn't come less, so you're happy. Fair enough. I would also be happy to not be in last place. Also, aren't your dreams being taken over by this world? Shush! They don't need to be. If anything, my dreams last night were just calling me out for, shit I've been dealing with since childhood, so I was like, oh, okay. It's a call-out post stream tonight. Elmo sees how it is. Rip, yeah. It's fine. Sandman just had to make a call-out post. That's all it is. Hi. Doo-doo-doo. Gonna be going out and about again. This is a very out and about day. I'm down to the last 3 boxes of cobble. And, there's still that big area down there to fill in. So odds are I'm not gonna finish this for at least a while. And that's fine. It's fine. Good thing too tired to ask. Totally unpredictable question today. You wanna know what's crazy? Pink had asked, like, when they were asking about, like, contact info and stuff, um, they had asked about, like, kind of being able to talk about the demon subject a little bit more. And I was like, odds are, if and when you do get that information, I'll probably be roleplaying with Nate. And now, that's practically a lie. It feels bad to know I'm lying. But, Sometimes it just is what it is. I used to pass on their info, but wasn't too sure. Fair. Also, I am just a noob when it comes to adding people on Discord. So, you remember. Holy shit, I've filled in so much of this area. I'm going to scream and possibly shout. But most importantly, I'll be letting it all out. So, you know. Can set up a general chat if you would like. Yeah, sure. There are creepy creepers down there. I don't like those guys. They took my pocket money, and they never gave it back. Group chat is set up in DMs. Nice. None of the stream can see the group chat, and that is good. God, just imagine fucking leaking a group chat on stream. Nice. Yeah. I'll, join it right before I head out. To be honest, it's our Discord users. Fair. I mean, like, imagine the chaos that would happen if someone leaked their DMs on stream. It would be catastrophic, to say the least. No, I would like to have this be here. It's an auto join thing, just kind of yoinked right in. As it's just a group chat. Fair. You just automatically yoinked me in there. You're just like, get over here! Auto yoinked pink in too. Fair. Boop boop. I think I can actually kind of fill this area in because of the fact that it's kind of accessible at a different point. How much can I fill in here? Boop. 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 Nobody even knew that was there. Nobody needs to know. You know? It's like Aaron Burr, the totally not historically controversial figure, once said, "Nobody needs to know." That's different. That's different. You're here to see that. Nobody in chat needs to know because they're not here to see it. Nobody else is here to see it. Fucking put that there. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Boop. And boop. And boop. And boop. So many boops. If there are any doggos, boop the snoots. That's my policy. That's my motto. Vote me for president. I will boop the snoot of every pooch if I get listed into office. Especially if they are good boys. And girls. Can't be sexist with the doggos. Currently talking to Pink in the general chat just made. Fair, that explains why the number is going. They said they had to get going. So they're not on the stream chat. I also taught them geography. I did something. You're welcome. Thanks. Thanks for blowing up my Discord. I think they got data. Fair enough. Please don't blow up my Discord for real. Please. Please. I beg of mercy. Pretty please with the cherry on top. I know you could. I know you could. I beg for mercy. Thank you. Did you fear the rapid dots approaching? I fear no thing, but that scares me. Cause you know, like, to the point Discord tells you to slow down. Yeah. That's a concerning speed. How you got that fast, we may never know. It may simply remain a mystery. And that's what scares the most. Easy practice from pissing off siblings. Still, though, the point is, it's scary. Don't give that smile. That fucking smile. You know the amount of crimes tied to that smile. You are pulling the fucking thing. Oh, fuck. There we go. Nice save. Thanks. If I didn't do that, Minecraft would have realized, oh shit, physics are kind of a thing in the game. Can't be having that realization, Minecraft. Yeah. Bee ba boop ba da boop. When you gotta go? Whenever Howie's feeling up to going, really. We were gonna go when I first muted, but I was like, I just got a couple boxes to get through. So she was okay with waiting a little bit, but now she has like an ear infection going on, and her ear's giving her problems. So I'm gonna push it back just a little bit more. Tell her Brit hopes the ear infection fucks off soon, because it's rude. It is rude. She had tried to initially sleep it off, and then, the next day, which was yesterday, she realized, um, she was in horrific pain, and at first she didn't even want to go to the hospital, but, we were like, you're going to the hospital. And so she went there, and they said that she has hearing loss, like a significant amount of hearing loss, and that if the ear infection isn't dealt with, it could be worse. So, you know, it's getting dealt with now, thankfully. But yeah, we kind of already knew she had some level of hearing loss because of TMJ, if you know what that is. Um, but because of the ear infection, it was basically blocking off her ability to hear, like blocking off part of where the ear canal goes towards the eardrum. So she now has antibiotics to help with that. Used to have ear problems growing up. Also, don't know what TMJ is. TMJ is also referred to as TMD, which it's a, like, it's a disorder in the jaw area. It basically, um, it's, I don't know all the specifics of it, but it causes the person horrific pain in their jaw, kind of, like, not the bottom part of the jaw, but where it connects by the ear area. And so she's been dealing with that for, like, ages now. It's been something she's had to deal with since around the time Preems was born. Oof, yeah. She's been having to deal with it since around that time. And it got to the point where she was like having to go to the doctor fairly regularly over it. And the doctors were just like, oh, well, sucks to suck, basically. At one point, she had to go to the ER, and the ER that was closest to us, they, not to say they didn't care, because obviously I understand hospital staff are very busy a lot of the time, but when it's getting to that point where it's practically being deadly, every little second feels like it counts. And so if the staff aren't immediately on it, it kind of feels like, wow, you don't care. Ears used to produce too much wax to the point the balls of wax were trying to stretch your ear tunnels. Used to have to put oil in the ears to loosen up the wax and get it out. Wasn't fun. Understandable. But yeah, the TMJ kind of like caused a cyst at one point to form. And if they had let that cyst stay, Howie would not be here. So it was very important that they get it out. But because it was an emergency room, you know, there was other patients there too. So it was a very stressful day that day. You know, luckily she's here, so could look back on it and laugh at all that stuff, but doesn't take away from how stressful that was. Because the way that ERs work in America is based off your insurance, because they want to get paid. You know, everyone in America just cares about getting paid. So if your insurance isn't able to pay them the big bucks, they're like, oh, you're a lower priority. Unless you're actually fucking dying, in which case, you better hope you went to a decent hospital. Because even if you're literally dying, some will still go, oh, you're a lower priority because your insurance. Sounds about right. For land of the free. Yeah. Land of the free, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg if you want any decent healthcare. And the TM the TMJ, TMD, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you're born with it and you kind of have to deal with it. Um, it causes a lot of people land of the free, but you're technically not free. Yeah. It causes a lot of people a lot of pain, specifically like where their teeth meet their jaw. So one of the solutions is literally just getting rid of your teeth. Oh, you don't want to be in pain in your teeth jaw area? Just don't have teeth. Can't have pain there if they're not there to feel it. Teeth rights revoked. Yeah, pretty much. And then if you point out the flaws in the system of, well, people need to eat, then um, stop your bitching and whining then and just eat. So what ends up happening is a lot of people with, yeah, bruh. So what happens is a lot of people with TMD, TMJ, they'll get dentures for the sake of, being able to chew food. Um, because gotta eat, gotta live, you gotta survive somehow. Um, Sandy is making desk look comfy right now. Oof. But yeah, some people will just get dentures because they don't want to deal with the pain anymore. And some people also aren't able to afford dentures, so it really just depends on luck of the draw. Dad and uncle have full-on dentures. Yeah. Um, from what I know about it, it's more common in the British genes to have TMD, TMJ. So it's entirely possible that you get it. Literally, there's studies that are like, yeah, it's more common in Britain than it is in most places. So if you ever get it, just know that pain is temporary, swag is forever. Leon's trying to force feed me, by the way. But yeah, it's definitely worth looking up. I fucking loves it. You can freak stepmom with it. Oh, I ain't running in the family. Does teeth are just falling apart. Oof. But yeah, no, it's worth looking into just because it is more common in British land than it is in other places in the world. For various reasons, probably. But yeah, just to be on the safe side. It's better to stay aware of these things. Also, I could just hear the neighbor's dog barking like crazy. Why is he trying to force feed? I don't know. It's a good question. He just came over with some stuff and he started trying to force feed me with it. He's not saying anything even though he's right next to me.
If I speak, I'll get you banned.
Well, you just spoke then, so... Trying to get me banned? Almost sees how it is. Bruh, yeah. Knew it, he's trying to get me banned. He's trying to force feed me still. He's bringing it straight to my face. Yeah, sure. He's taking it for himself now. At least he's taking part of it for himself. But you know, better than getting force fed. Did you guys see the small text here too? Or was that just me? Okay, I gotta sleep before Sandy convinces desk is a pillow. That's fair. Have a good sleep. Sweet dreams. Commit all the crimes in your sleep. Good night. boo bada boo. Babu bada boo. Bee babu bada boo. Babu bada boo. I am almost done with my cobble. I am just a couple refills away. Okay, getting even closer. Which is nice. I am nearly done. Shit. Oh, this isn't too bad. looks like all I can really mine here. So, might as well pack that up. Put a couple extra torches down here. And, get heading up. Because, ain't got no more cobble. Ain't got no more cobble to be messing with. Might as well run and gun it. Still got that diamond though. So, I can all end it here. um, anyways,